Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, Toasties with the Mosties. Hello and welcome to this incredible Zoom room. Welcome to this incredible moment. Welcome.
He is distinguished Toastmaster Ernesto G. Williams.
And she is distinguished Toastmaster Antoinette Bailey.
And we are
your flight attendants.
Yes, we are. Welcome to America Airways, flight number COVID, go away.
If you're headed to the beautiful frozen lake of Narnia through the pages of a book and this Zoom call by ways unbeknownst to you and indescribable by the natural laws of physics, then you're in the right place.
I will just look through the city
If
comments.
you're not, you are not going anyway. It's all your.
Believe me, before we take off, please take a close look at the most important safety feature we have aboard this invisible and fictitious aircraft. Colorful Zoom backgrounds that mask the magical wings that will hopefully keep you from falling. Ooh. Nice.
All other bits of information regarding why we don't have any emergency exits, why this flight will last for as long as Scooby-Doo snacks remain a hot commodity, and why we don't talk about Bruno can be answered in this self-magical guide that can be found in your center of your heart, if you have one.
Hold on. Is this the right gig?
What do you mean? Isn't this the opening of the club? I'm ready. Isn't it down the street?
Oh, you know something? I'm looking at their virtual backgrounds and all I can see is Toastmasters District 47 for virtual conference. Ooh.
Oh, okay. Let's change. Let's fix up.
All right. All right. Ready?
Okay.
Again.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
He is distinguished Toastmaster Ernesto G. Williams.
And she is distinguished Toastmaster Antoinette Bailey.
And we are
your conference chairs. This year at this conference, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to reimagine. We are transforming the mind and of all of our new and returning Toastmasters for all to re-engage, to recommit, and re-embrace this Toastmasters program again.
At the end, we want your statements to be, having attended conference, I feel connected, valued, recognized, charged, celebrated, and alive. This conference atmosphere and experience has helped me reimagine how to stay connected with my Toastmaster family, even while I'm home.
Nice.
And we definitely wish to highlight our sponsor who has helped to make this event happen. Our own ADP, Jose Alvarado. Jose, are you there? We can't hear you. Okay, since Jose is not around, we want to start off right, Ernesto? Like
Definitely.
talking a little bit more about the conference. And we all want everybody to be engaged in this topic by dropping it in the chat. What are you looking forward most for this conference over the next 4 days? I am looking forward. I'm already dressed up for the masquerade ball. I got my mask ready. I got my flowers. Ernesto, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I am not as flashy as you, distinguished Toastmaster Bailey, but there's one thing I can't wait for in conference, and that's just to feel the love from the incredible family I have here in the room. I just want to keep seeing smiles from the quad members and the division and area directors and presidents and VPs and treasurers and our first. I just want to feel the love from not being able to see them like I would normally want to every year. You got on mute.
We want to open the mic. And we're going to ask Division A Director, Andrew Robinson, what are you looking forward over the next 4 days?
Hello, Toastmasters. I am looking forward to seeing those Toastmasters whom I have not seen, in some cases, in 2 or 3 years. It's been a while, but I know more people are on this app this time. So I want to see your place at the different activities. I will be there. You will see me, especially at night, because I'm part of the night crew for the social activities. So join us and be ready to have some fun starting tonight. Yay!
That sounds incredibly well, distinguished Toastmaster Robinson. And distinguished Toastmaster Bailey, look at the comments in the chat. We're taking the time to really highlight at the beginning what we want. Look at some of these. I see.
You know what? Let's ask distinguished Toastmaster Jane Cabrera. She's looking forward to the DTM one. Is she a newly minted DTM?
Maybe.
Well, thank you. Yes, I am a newly minted DTM, and I am super excited to celebrate with all of the DTMs this year.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Jane. Do we have any first timers in the room? Let's see some applause, or do we want to say hi?
Perfect time to use those virtual reaction buttons just to celebrate our first time. I think I heard a hi there. I hope they're not shy, distinguished Toastmaster Canonica.
Hello. Go ahead.
Good night, everyone. How you doing?
Hey, we're good. How are you?
I'm good.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. It's good to hear your voices. It's really good to hear your voices.
Good evening, everyone, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is a first timer from Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Charisma Monroe, and I am hailing from Toastmasters Club Island Communicators. And I'm excited to be here, looking forward to all of the sessions. And Toastmaster Antoinette, I am definitely looking forward to that masquerade party.
Yes. We all are excited for that masquerade ball on Saturday night. Well, Ernesto, it's that time.
And right before it's that time, I want to highlight just a few of these in the chat because I really favor the vision. Throughout the conference, we are purposing to evolve. We're purposing to grow. We're purposing to reconnect. Kind of similar to this butterfly concept that we've appreciated and experienced. The scope of going from caterpillar or larvae to the chrysalis into the butterfly scope, really spreading our wings again. This is the re-energizing scope. So I see so many different notes here in the chat very quickly, sharing in the joy of my fellow Toastmasters. Toastmaster Turnquest says she's looking forward to meeting with other Toastmasters and learning about the program. Toastmaster Stevenson says she can't wait for the sessions and the contests, of course. Toastmaster Robinson says fun and seeing my Toastmaster family. Definitely the masquerade party by Toastmaster Monroe. Toastmaster Glenn says the speech contests. Distinguished Toastmaster Cabrera says looking forward to celebrating with the new DTMs. There is so much for us to appreciate from coming into this virtual platform again. I want you, ladies and gentlemen, as you go through these 4 days, really consider and return to the roots of why did I join this program? What am I going to do after the next 4 days? How do I expect this to really enlighten me, to bring me back to the scope of being not only a re-energized Toastmaster who is benefiting from self-development, but is benefiting from my Toastmasters family as well. And we all grow together as we synergize and help one another. This, Distinguished Toastmaster Bailey, is going to be a conference to remember.
I agree with that. You know what? I'm looking around at the attendees, distinguished Toastmaster Williams, and I see an accredited speaker. Do you see one too? And he's a first timer.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a first timer? Let's ask distinguished Toastmaster Joe Grandin to open the mic and say hi to District 47.
Hello, District 47. It is such a pleasure for me to be here. I'm actually re-invited. I was at your conference in person a couple of moons ago, and I had so much fun. I can't tell you, words cannot express how excited I am to be here and to see all your smiling faces. And you too are doing an amazing job. You're starting this conference off big. I think it was Ricardo that did the saxophone. Oh my gosh, I can go home. I can go to bed with a smile on my face right now. Congratulations. I am happy to be here, and I'm going to spend more time. I want to meet each and every one of you. Thank you so much, District 47.
Thank you so much. We're excited to have you here with us today. You know what? In the chat, we have somebody that's looking forward to meeting other Toastmasters and learning more about the program. I'm excited to meet Althea Turnquist. Don't forget, we have the Uber app where you can send us notes, how the conference is going so far. We look forward to meeting everyone, talking, networking in the Uber app. So Ernesto, that's it for me because I'm ready for the masquerade ball. What about you?
I also don't want our attendees to forget about the e-journal. That is placed there to help you document, take notes, ask yourself those important questions. And as we enjoy and take part, really also take the time to reflect and re-energize, reconsider, reconnect with our why as Toastmasters, and even a part of not just your club, but your area and your division and the district as a whole. This is where it all is going to be happening, wonderful people. Engage the WhoVap over the next 4 days. Engage your fellow Toastmasters. Though virtual, we are not limited by the energy we exude through the screen. Let's support one another. This, again, is going to be a conference indeed.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Ernesto G. Williams. Well, where do you find this journal?
You want to tell them?
I think I'm going to ask our PRO, Rodney Bain, to tell us where do you find this journal?
Thank you so much for asking. You guys are doing an amazing job, awesomely amazing job. Thank you all so much for your energy. And yes, your conference chairs had a great idea to help this journal, to help document your progress, because they know that they put in the work with some awesome speakers on the lineup. So when you go into your Hoover app, you can either go in resources, or if you're on the phone, just go to documents. If you're on a desktop, go to resources and documents, or just documents. And I could go right there, and it's right there. I'm so excited because you guys have me so excited. And my dog is at it. You had a dog walking the dog. No, seriously, this dog feels the energy through the things. So my dog is saying, keep it up, guys. So keep it up. So just to show you the journal. The journal is a beautiful thing. So I can show you again. So go to resources. Underneath the resources is documents, or if you're on your phone, just documents. We have the Reimagine Conference Journal, and we also have the conference booklet right there for you. And if anything else, your great conference shares, need me to do in there, I would definitely do it in there. Before I have to compete even more on my dog, I throw it back to you guys, as he knows that I'm talking too much because it's your show. So I yield it back to you too.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Ben, our District 47 Public Relations Manager. Thank you so much. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit more time left, and by little, we're about to transition into our welcome. But before we do that, we want you to see and once again get the full scope of conference with our grand opening conference video. And our tech team, incredible as they are going to assist us with the playing of that. Of course, you'll see us throughout conference. See you in a bit.
Welcome to the District 47 Annual Virtual Conference under the theme Reimagine. And I officially declare it open. I am the District 47 2021-2022 Logistics Manager, Distinguished Toastmaster Darren Kennedy. Thank you for having me, and thank you for being here. Now, please help me welcome Toastmaster Erwinique M. Starr with our inspirational moment.
A man found a cocoon of a butterfly. One day, a small opening appeared. He sat and watched the butterfly for several hours as it struggled to force its body through that little hole. Then The butterfly seemed to stop making any progress. It appears as if it had gotten as far as it could and it could go no further. Then the man decided to help the butterfly. So he took a pair of scissors and snipped off the remaining parts of the cocoon. Happy with himself, the butterfly then emerged easily, but it had a swollen body and shriveled wings. The man continued to watch the butterfly because he expected that at any moment the wings would enlarge and expand to be able to support the body, which would contract in time. Neither happened. In fact, the butterfly spent the rest of its life crawling around with a swollen body and shriveled wings. It was never able to fly. What the man in his kindness and haste did not understand was that the restricting cocoon and the struggle required for the butterfly to get through that tiny opening was needed to force fluid from the body of the butterfly into the wings so that it would be ready for flight once it achieved its freedom from the cocoon. Wow. Sometimes struggles are exactly what we need in our life. Imagine a life without any obstacles, challenges, or trials. It would literally cripple us. We would not be as strong as what we could have been. And we could never fly. Back to you, District Logistics Manager, Distinguished Toastmaster, Darren Kennedy.
Please join me in listening to renditions of the Bahamian anthem and the United States anthem. May I share my screen? Lift up your head to the rising sun upon the land. March on to glory of Christ and Lord's waving high. See how the world multiply of your blessed you and you rushing on the earth, rushing together to come and dear God, save me through the weather, hide the wine and treasure show.
see why the notes we had. What so proudly we wear at the twilight's last gleam. With our stars and bright stars, through the sky, for the ramparts we lost, are so gallantly sprang. And the rock is red, bubbles are speaking. My God, the anchors see the stars, that glory
As a reminder to all, the Toastmasters district mission is we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Toastmasters International core values are as follows: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Please help me welcome our very great leader of service with a smile and lots of emojis, distinguished Toastmaster Shakira Taylor, our district director.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Thank you so much, Logistics Manager, Distinguished Toastmaster Darren Kennedy. Welcome, welcome, District 47 Toastmasters and guests. We are delighted to have you here on this opening night. You're in for a treat over the next 3 days. I can tell you many late nights, multiple meetings, etc., 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 went into planning something special for you. Let us show some hearts on your screens for all the teams that's been involved in the planning of this conference. I encourage you, Toastmasters and guests, to stay engaged in your UVA app. Be intentional about meeting your fellow Toastmasters across the district and the world. Build connections that you can keep going beyond this conference. Because of our sponsors, we can host a free conference for our members and guests. At this time, I encourage you to check out our sponsors page in the UVA app, check them out, and they're also in the conference booklet. A special thank you for Florida Power and Light, our Monarch sponsor. They're actually our biggest sponsor. We're so grateful to them. At this time, please welcome Ms. Connie Catiano, Financial Center of Excellence Corporate Accountant from Florida Power and Light.
Hello, and thank you. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmasters and guests. I am honored to be here. My name is Connie Catiano. I'm, as she said, with Florida Power and Light, and not only am I an accountant here for the past 12 years, but I'm also VP of Education at High Voltage Voices, the club within our company. FPL is the largest energy company in Florida, serving more than 5.7 million customers across 43 countries. Listen to me, 43 counties, my apologies. That's more than half of the state from Miami to Pensacola. As you may know, FPL is part of the NextEra Energy family. NextEra Energy is a Fortune 200 company and ranked #1 in the electric and gas utilities industry on Fortune's list of the most admired companies for the 14th time in 15 years. FPL serves customers here in Florida, and as you may know, Gulf Power just recently joined the NextEra Energy family in 2019 and now serves customers in Northwest Florida as FPL. In addition to providing clean, reliable, and affordable energy, we know it's just as important to help the communities where we live, work, and raise our families. That's why we're proud to be a sponsor of Toastmasters. To learn more, please visit fpl.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Catiano. Florida Power and Light. FPNL has been a consistent supporter of District 47, and we so appreciate the contributions. District 47 is known for being the resilient district. We rise above whatever curveballs come our way each year, and this year is no different. Although we have been online this year, my heart is still full with high hopes and the expectations of success for everyone, and that includes transformation for us all. It is my earnest hope that over the past 10 months, you have been a witness to the impact of the theme, reimagine, rediscover, and recognize. Our leaders this year have carried it in our hearts and in our actions, and we hope that you have witnessed this. We have several dignitaries in our audience today. Please give a warm reception with your emojis, your claps, or past International President, Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, or Region 8 Advisor, Distinguished Toastmaster Natanya Walker is here, or past Region 8 International Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Anthony Longley, member of District 47, past Region 6 International Director, Carol Perhinsky, or past Region 8 Advisor, Distinguished Toastmaster Antoinette Fox, past District 47 Governors and Directors, Distinguished Toastmasters all, Pamela Roll, Janine Kinsey, Maurice Fuller, Leonardo Barrows, welcome, welcome. Or Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Austin Canonica, or Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Lois Margolin, or immediate past District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Barbara Strastis, or District Public Relations Manager, Toastmaster Rodney Bain, or District Administration Manager, Distinguished Toastmaster Michelle Washington, or District Finance Manager, Toastmaster Arlene Perdhome, District Conference Chairs who you've just witnessed their energy and enthusiasm, Distinguished Toastmaster Antoinette Bailey and Ernesto G. Williams. Or division directors are here. They're working really hard. Let's show them the hearts. Division A, Distinguished Toastmaster Andrea Robinson. Division B, Distinguished Toastmaster Roosevelt Jean-Francois. Division C, Distinguished Toastmaster Elizabeth George. Division D, Distinguished Toastmaster Deandra Dorset. Division E, Distinguished Toastmaster Tiffany C. Burrell Roberts. Division F, Distinguished Toastmaster Gerard Roll. And Division I Toastmaster Derek Garcia Roll. Thank you so much to all our area directors or chairs or team members of the district. Please give a thumbs up, show some hearts. We want to see you. We want to recognize you. We appreciate you being here and for all your hard work. At this time, please help me welcome our energetic Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Austin Canonica.
Thank you so much, Madam District Director. Hello, my fellow Toasties of District 47, Toastmasters from all around the world, and for anybody else that's joining us tonight, welcome, and thank you for being here at our conference experience. I wanted to recognize any members and club officers of District 47 at this time. If you happen to fall into either one of those categories, let's see you throw up an emoji. It could be the celebration emoji. It could be the heart emoji. This is all about you at this time. District 47 was able to celebrate the 2020 and 2021 South Floridian clubs recently during multiple halls of fame. We also intend to visit the Bahamas and be able to celebrate with the Hall of Fame for the 2020-2021 year. I cannot wait to get back to the Bahamas this coming June and celebrate with all of you for our hard work and efforts from last year. For this year, the 2021-2022 year for Toastmasters, we are planning a Hall of Fame celebration for later this year. Stay tuned to our social media and our website for more. I specifically wanted to congratulate several clubs and club presidents for their accolades this year for several District 47 incentives. I'm going to share my screen because this is a little bit of a mouthful, and I want to make sure that I adequately am able to present to you these recipients. Give me one moment. Of course, when I practiced this, there were 0 issues. And now that we're going live, I feel like I've never done this before. There it is. Here we go. You may have heard of our incentive, which we had last year. This is the Golden Gavel Award. I think I have to swap it like this. There we go. I could walk and chew gum at the same time. The Golden Gavel Award, the coveted Golden Gavel Award. For those of you that are wondering, what exactly is the criteria for such a prestigious award? It is listed right here on the screen. All 7 club officers trained at both rounds of the Toastmasters Leadership Institutes. All base camp managers, that be your president, your vice president of education, and your club secretary, trained by our district pathways team led by distinguished Toastmaster Jane Cabrera. You've achieved Smedley or Talk Up Toastmasters. Those are membership building awards to add 5 new or dual reinstated members in 2-month increments. Conducted at least 1 Moments of Truth session at your club, 1 Triple Crown Award, complete a youth leadership program or speechcraft. You have a qualified contestant at all levels of area speech contests. That's table topics, speech evaluation, humorous and international speech contests. And you attain a perfect 10 of 10 distinguished club status points by the deadline of April 15th. Let's give it up for the 4 clubs in District 47 that have won the coveted Golden Gavel Award. As I read them off now, please show the love in the chat box and for your emojis. From Division A, Area 14, we have West Pines Toastmasters Club. Woo! From Division A, also Area 15, North Miami Beach Toastmasters Club. Way to go. Division F, Area 61, the Healing Communicators Club. Also Golden Gavel Award recipients. But of course, I think some of you have heard this club before, Division I, Area 93 Club 1600, the First Bahamas branch of Toastmasters. Congratulations to all of the members of these clubs. We will be presenting you with a plaque and additional recognition throughout this conference. The plaque will come at the Hall of Fame that will be scheduled for later this year. I also wanted to show you a brand new incentive that we had created this year called the Golden Flame President's Award. And by the end of March, these clubs were to have 10 out of 10 distinguished club goals and have 20 or more paid members for the April renewal period. I am pleased to announce that these are the 5 presidents of the Golden Flame President's Award. Please react as I call out their names. We have Carol Prudhomme from West Pine Toastmasters Club. We have Pete Gonzalez from North Miami Beach Toastmasters Club. Ballard Genevieve from Action for Achievement Club 1095. Trevor Lockhart for Healing Communicators Club. And Devon Taylor from the First Bahamas branch of Toastmasters. Congratulations to all of these club presidents for heeding the call of action and getting your club in President's Distinguished status well ahead of the game. Wow. I'm so happy to have been able to recognize those clubs and members, but it's enough of me. It's time for us to move on to our absolutely dynamic and vivacious Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Lois Margolin.
Thank you, Mr. Program Quality Director, Austin Canonica. Welcome, welcome everyone from District 41 and around the world. We are so excited to have you here today. First, let's celebrate our first timers. So we each have a role in the next 30 seconds. If you're a first timer, give us a thumbs up so we can see that you're a first timer. Let us know. We want to see. You can clap, whatever, but only first timers. Look at all those thumbs up going around. That is so awesome. Now I told you everybody's going to have a role. So let's everybody else show some hearts for all those first timers. Show them the love. Let them know we so appreciate them. Thank you for playing along. We also want to recognize that we have newly chartered clubs in District 47. And I know I've been announcing them all through the year, but we are proud to announce that we have chartered 8 clubs, and we do have more on the way. They just didn't make the cutoff right away, but let's welcome the following: DSD Toastmasters, Claro Enterprises Solution Toastmasters, Emerald Toastmaster Club, MSFT Federal Toastmasters, that is Microsoft, Products Do the Talking, South Florida PMI Toastmasters, Cisco Southeast Florida, and Cisco South Florida. Let's give them all a round of applause. Yeah, and I hope you've been welcoming them on Facebook and all other ways that we can, because it's incredible to start a club in this day and age. So congrats. I also want to recognize 4 clubs that did something phenomenal. We had a special promotion out there that if by September 30th, you renewed all the way through September 30th, 2022, you became part of the 20 Plus Club. Now that is a distinguished group of individuals, and I would personally like to congratulate CCR Chamber Voices, the Toastmaster Club at FAU, First Bahamas branch of Toastmasters Club 1600, and Saturday Fearless Toastmasters. Lastly, I want to congratulate all the rock stars out there who paid your annual dues through September 22nd, 2022 by December 31st. You got these fabulous backgrounds. You were rock stars. We appreciate you. Give yourselves a thumb up so we can all celebrate who you are, because there were hundreds of you and we so appreciate you. Thank you again. Welcome to our first timers. Welcome to all of our new clubs. Back to you, Madam District Director.
Let's give it up for our dynamic team, Toastmasters guests and fellow Toastmasters. You've heard all the good news that's happening in our district. And guess what? We still have time. So after this conference, you're going to hear more incentives, more that's rolling out, because we're going all the way to June 30th and District 47 will be on the map. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it is now time to move into our first event of the conference, or keynote address. Deepak Menon of New Delhi, India, is a chartered accountant. He oversees management and operations and specializes in international taxation, cross-border taxation, transfer pricing, and direct taxes. He's been a Toastmaster since 2002 and presently is a member of Central Delphi Toastmasters and JPKU Toastmasters. He has held a number of high-profile leadership positions within Toastmasters. During his term as District 82 governor in 2009-2010, the district chartered, listen to this, an unbeaten record of 75 new clubs and attained the #1 position in the world as a president distinguished district. Mr. Menon served as Region 13 advisor in 2011-2012 and as international director from 2013 to 2015. He was elected as second vice president in August 2016 and went on to lead Toastmasters International as its international president in 2019 to 2020. Mr. Menon served as the chief coordinator for the Toastmasters Youth Leadership Program in collaboration with the American Center in New Delphi and helped build communication and leadership skills for approximately 700 underprivileged children in 6 cities in India. This is super fun. He's quoted as saying, "Toastmasters has taught me skills that no school, no college, university can teach. It has helped me evolve from being a lone player to being a team player, from being led to being a leader, from the problem to being the solution." Please help me welcome our keynote speaker, distinguished Toastmaster, Deepak Menon.
Thank you, Madam District Director. It is such an honor to be present with all of you here in District 47. I wish I could have been there with all of you in Bahamas, Florida, or wherever you are, but I'm here in New Delhi, India. It's very early in the morning, but I'm up bright and early to be speaking with all of you. I remember the time that I came to Toastmasters the first time. Do you all remember that time? The first day that you attended Toastmasters? You do? Excellent. Well, let me tell you, I had to be literally pushed through the door because I didn't want to join Toastmasters. The gentleman who told me about Toastmasters had told me that this club would help me enhance my communication skills. And when he told me that, I thought to myself, communication skills, enhance them. I'm already a great speaker. I can speak to anybody. I can speak about anything. I can't improve my communication skills any more than I already have. So I wasn't truly interested in getting in through to that door of a Toastmasters club. But you know what? This gentleman, Mr. Bajaj, he kept following up. He kept pursuing. He used to phone me before every meeting. He would send me the agenda before every meeting. And finally, after 2 months of his constantly prodding me, I decided it was time for me to go to that meeting, attend it, and then tell him I'm not interested. So there I was at the Toastmasters meeting, and I was impressed by what I saw, but not so impressed that I wanted to join the club. The meeting progressed, the speakers were great, they were very professional. When it came time for table topics, some of you are kind of going ahead of what I'm going to say here. Yes, I was called upon to speak on table topics. And I'd seen the others speaking and I thought, it's easy. I can do it. What's the problem? But when my name was announced and I had to walk up to the stage, I remember that my legs started trembling. My heart started fluttering. It was beating very, very rapidly. I'd never experienced that kind of feeling before. Maybe once when I thought I was in love. But here I was walking up the stage, a sheen of perspiration on my forehead. And when the table topics master gave me the topic to speak on, I remember that my tongue seemed to be tied into ropes. Not a word seemed to be coming out of my mouth. I somehow managed to open my mouth. I muttered and mumbled something. And the moment I saw the 1 minute mark up, I ran back to my seat and heaved a sigh of relief. The torture was over. And I realized that I had a fear of speaking before an audience that perhaps Toastmasters would be able to cure. Before the end of that meeting, I had signed up as a Toastmaster. My friends, my learning started from that moment onwards. My learning as a Toastmaster, not just about communication skills and leadership skills. It's about a journey of transformation, about what you can discover. The pearls that lie in the deepest of the Toastmasters ocean are there available for us to unearth. All we need to do is to dive in. The more we embrace the program, the more we discover these pearls that help us in this journey of transformation. So what did I discover that day, that first day at Toastmasters? I discovered the importance of perseverance. If Mr. Bajaj had not persevered with me, had not kept calling up every single week, I wouldn't have come to Toastmasters at all. And perhaps I wouldn't have been speaking here before you today. So indeed, the power of perseverance is something that really held me in good stead in every step of the way as a leader, as a Toastmaster. Never give up. Always remember there is always the next step to take. So perseverance, a very important attribute that I learned in Toastmasters. I learned also it's so important to say yes to opportunities. When the window of opportunities open, they lead you out to a magnificent world that you've never experienced before. But you've got to say yes to it. If the opportunity comes knocking and you say, no, I'm not interested to everything that comes to you, You'll never be able to experience what is on the other side of that door, the other side of that window. So say yes to opportunities every time. Yes, it's possible that that opportunity that you get may perhaps not be the best, may not be the one for you, but how will you know unless you've experienced it? So say yes every time, as I did that day in Toastmasters. I said yes to that opportunity, and here I am. I kept learning every single day in Toastmasters. Every meeting was a learning experience for me. What do you think? Are meetings learning experiences for all of you? Whether you've been Toastmasters for a day, 6 months, a year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, somebody in the house who's been a member for 30 years, show me your hands up. If you've been a member for 30 years. Oh, wow. Let's give it up for Henry. Congratulations, Henry. I have been a Toastmaster only for 20 years so far. I'm hoping to get to 30 and more. But indeed, I've met some who've been in Toastmasters for more than half a century. Imagine, I met a member who was evaluated by Dr. Smedley. And that was amazing to be in contact with such a gentleman. Or we've got somebody else who's been more than 30 years, Aletta Richmond. Well, give it up for Aletta too, 30 years. Wow, amazing. So every day is a learning experience, and every meeting we attend gives us a few more nuggets that we can learn from, that we can use to transform ourselves from who we are to what we can become and what we ultimately become. But today I'm talking about what is it that you can discover on the way. Now, this club that I joined, the Toastmasters Club of New Delhi in July 2002, was the only club in the city of New Delhi at that time. It was, in fact, one of 6 clubs in India. Now, some of you who've seen the geography of India know it's a fairly large country, and only 6 clubs. I'm sure you wonder, 6 clubs, how did they communicate with each other? Well, we didn't communicate with each other. We didn't even know about the existence of each other. We were not part of an area. We were not part of a division. We were not part of a district. We were undistricted clubs. I'm sure that some of you find that word very strange. Undistricted? What is undistricted? Well, undistricted is a club who nobody cares about, who's there just hanging in the middle, doing their own thing. And that's what we were doing. We were doing our own thing. We did what we felt was right. And we were learning every single day. Now, I happen to be in the capital city of India, New Delhi. And in New Delhi, we get a lot of visitors from all over the world. Of course, because it's the capital. And that is the place that we end up receiving a lot of Toastmasters, visiting Toastmasters. Every time a visiting Toastmaster came, the first thing they did was to check out if there was a Toastmasters club in the city. And they would latch on to the Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. They would call up, and if it were a Tuesday, they would be there at the meeting. I remember that one day when we had distinguished Toastmaster Sid Chopra visiting us from California. We'd never heard of a distinguished Toastmaster before. And it was the first time that we knew there was a distinguished Toastmaster title. So we were wondering, who would be this distinguished Toastmaster? He must be really somebody high and mighty. And we were looking forward to seeing him, visiting with him. When he came to the club, we were pleasantly surprised to find this very humble person who seemed to be so willing to help, so willing to support. And he sat through the entire meeting. Now that day, I was evaluating an icebreaker speech. I was very excited because I knew we would put up a wonderful meeting for Sid, and Sid at the end of the meeting would exclaim, wow, what a wonderful meeting. The best I've ever attended in the world. The icebreaker speaker, lady called Ranjita, she had a fine speech. She spoke for about 4 minutes. And then when it was time for me to evaluate, I talked about all the good things that she did. I talked about all the things that she could do to improve. And finally, when I closed talking about the best things that I liked about her speech, it was 6 minutes. Yes, I spoke for 6 minutes in my evaluation for Ranjita. But that's what we did in our club, you see. We used to speak for as much as we wanted. The timer would stop the clock when it was time for evaluations, because of course, evaluations were the meat. That was where everybody got the benefit of Toastmasters, right? At the end of the meeting, when we called upon Sid to tell us what we could do to improve, of course, we knew he would have nothing to tell us to improve. You told us, I'm sure he would have told us that the meeting was the best possible. But when he opened his mouth, he said, and you would guess it right. He said, yes, this was the best meeting I attended. Wonderful meeting. You all did very well. I'm carrying back with me to California some of the things that you've done, which we might want to implement. But I do have one piece of advice, which is that when you're evaluating, try to speak a little less than the speaker herself. In fact, try to speak only for 2 to 3 minutes. When we looked at each other, what do you mean? Only 2 to 3 minutes for evaluation? How can we limit ourselves to 2 to 3 minutes? And then, of course, Sid went on to tell us, yes, 2 to 3 minutes. That's what Toastmasters wants you to do. You have all the time in the world to speak to the speaker later and give them additional feedback if you want. But when you're at the club meeting, value time and ensure that you limit yourself to 2 to 3 minutes. And that was fabulous learning. And from the very next meeting, we started implementing the 2 to 3 minute evaluation rule. My friends, we learned the importance of feedback. We learned the importance of listening to everybody, active listening, willingness to implement what we learned. And that's the way we kept growing. That's how we evolved, we transformed. It is extremely important that we know how to take feedback. We learned that in Toastmasters through the supportive feedback that we receive every single meeting. And it's important to take that well, to understand as a person giving feedback, as a person receiving feedback, how that feedback influences us and matters to us. So you need to make that feedback matter. You need to make that feedback such that it's easy for the person receiving the feedback to be able to implement it, to value it. We build self-esteem of our speakers, of our role players, of everybody in Toastmasters through the feedback that we provide. And I learned that skill. I learned about feedback, such an important, valuable skill. I remember in another meeting, there was this young lady who was being given feedback, being evaluated. She had completed the 9th project from the traditional competent communicator program. Some of you who are that old in Toastmasters might remember the 9th project was Persuade with Power. It still is a project available to you in level 3 of pathways, of any of the paths, in fact, that you choose. And that lady happened to be a dentist, and she was speaking about why it was important to visit a dentist every 6 months. Yeah, she tried to persuade us to go to her every 6 months. She was building her own marketing skills. At the end of a speech, when it was time for the evaluator had a laundry list of recommendations. it almost seemed as if everything that the speaker had done was wrong. He only started by saying, that was a great speech. And then he had a dozen items of recommendation, things that the speaker did not do well, the things that the speaker could improve or should not have done. And then he just ended his evaluation by saying, I'd like to listen to you once again, or I'd like to hear you again. But you should have seen that member. She was in tears. And later, she called me and said that she didn't want to continue with Toastmasters, because that was not the reason she joined Toastmasters, to receive that cruel feedback. Sometimes we ourselves become very overzealous, giving the feedback, not understanding the emotions, the feelings of the people we are talking to, that we're giving feedback to. And it's so important that we build that emotional intelligence in ourselves. Make sure that we do not hurt anybody through the words that we speak, sometimes carelessly, sometimes casually, and sometimes, most certainly, deliberately. So be very careful. And I learned how important it was to choose my words, to be able to speak, to build self-esteem, to make sure that everybody feels supported in this environment, which is meant to keep people safe. You, I'm sure, in your meetings, keep everybody safe, because it's so important that we give them the freedom to express, to articulate all their feelings, sentiments, and thoughts, whatever may be the situation. So my friends, I kept learning. Now, by the way, this young lady, you would want to know what happened to her. Did she continue with Toastmasters? Yes, she did. She went to another club, delivered the same speech, and got wonderful feedback. She was told that was a wonderful speech that she delivered. The only thing that she was told to improve was the title of her speech. That was it. And not only did she continue with Toastmasters, she ended up becoming the district director of the district. So imagine the power of feedback. It can destroy you, or it can really build you up. What is it that you want to do? My journey in Toastmasters continued to reveal those hidden gems to me, all the while teaching me ways to be more creative. Toastmasters is a platform which allows you to be as creative as you want to be. And you can have the willingness to fail, because there are so many who are there available to you to lift you up. So I tried to be as creative as I could be. I remember I delivered a speech, and it was an icebreaker speech, probably the third or fourth time that I delivered it. And I thought it didn't make sense to me to be, again, talking about when I was born, what are my hobbies, how I live my life, what kind of profession I'm in, etc., etc., etc. So I decided I'd do it differently. After all, I had the ability to fail. And even if I failed and fell on my face, I would still have more opportunities. And so I decided that I would speak in third person. And the third person that I had the voice of was my pet dog, Elsa, my Labrador. So it was from Labrador's eyes that Deepak was being described. And I remember I had a lot of fun in that speech. The first time I'd attempted something like that, I had a few woof woofs there also in the speech. And my audience seemed to love it as well. And that experiment worked. So I learned how important it was not to be afraid, but to experiment. Use this platform in any way that you want, because after all, this is the place where even if you fail, you can succeed. It's not like the outside cruel world, the one that is beyond the doors of Toastmasters, where it's a dog eat dog world, where nobody will give you a second look if you fail. But in Toastmasters, everything is possible. We are all there to support each other. As my journey continued in Toastmasters, we became a district. Yes, we were District 82, all of the clubs in India and Sri Lanka together in 2006, 2007 were combined together to become a provisional district. And I was the first of 3 division governors. Now they be called division directors. At that time, we were called division governors of that brand new district. I had the privilege of leading the division, which constituted 3/4 of India. Yes, 3/4 of India. That was the size of my division. Incidentally, that division today is 2 districts, and on 1 July 2022, it'll convert into 5 districts. But in 2006, it was still 1 division. And I had absolutely no idea what I needed to do as the division governor. Because of course, I didn't have any experience of leading or being a part of a district prior to that. The district director, the program quality director, the club growth director, of course, they were all different titles at that time. None of them had any experience as well. And so we were all floundering around. And I discovered the value of mentors. Do you have mentors? You do have mentors, right? I have had multiple mentors and I continue to receive mentoring. But it was mentoring that year that helped me the most. A leadership mentor who came into my life, who helped me navigate this journey as the division governor that year. And it was quite by serendipity that I discovered this mentor. I was at a district conference at the time when I got elected as division governor, and that's when I noticed this gentleman, distinguished Toastmaster Pattanayak, who seemed to know it all, who had all the answers. Anytime anybody put a question to him, he would immediately give you a response. And clearly he seemed to know so much. So after the conference, when I went back home, I called up and said, will you be able to guide my way? Will you be able to help me through my journey as the division governor, division director? And he said, yes, I will. Later, he told me, if you had not asked me, of course, I would not have helped you. And I learned it's so important to ask. Sometimes we feel afraid that we might, when we ask, receive a no. But we might also receive a yes. You don't lose anything by asking. When you ask for help and you receive it, well, that's the best thing that can happen. If you ask for help and you don't receive it, move on, find somebody else who can help you. So remember, it's so important to keep asking. And I learned that skill of asking. I would ask everybody to help me. And I learned that skill only in Toastmasters. Because before that, in my profession, I would never ask for help from anybody. I thought I could do everything by myself because nobody could do anything better than I did. But I realized that I could do everything in Toastmasters. When I was division governor, I needed the help of the area governors, the area directors. I needed the help of the club presidents. They were all part of my team and they had to do their job. I couldn't do their job for them. Even though I perhaps may have wanted to, seriously, sometimes when I would be talking to some of the area directors, I would know more than what they knew about their areas. And I would have to give them some education about it. And I would feel frustrated. But I knew it was important to allow them the freedom to do what they had to do the way they wanted to do. My friends, the lessons I learned in Toastmasters have been enormous. They have given me enormous wealth. The wealth which cannot be counted in dollar terms, but it can be counted in terms of the nourishment of the soul. I have received the love and affection of members from around the world, as I'm sure you do, from your club, from people around. So there is so much that I have discovered and yet that remains discovering, which is why I keep going back to Toastmasters every single meeting. I urge you all to keep learning, to keep diving deep into this ocean of Toastmasters, because there are still those pearls which you've not uncovered yet. And that's when your journey of transformation will begin. Madam District Director.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. Let's show some hearts, some reactions on the screen. I know I had so much that I was pen in hand taking notes, and I'm looking around the room and I can tell you so many mentors for me as a district director sitting in this room, because I keep learning every day. Thank you so much for sharing your nuggets, building self-esteem, the power of feedback. Excellent, excellent. At this time, we're going to move into a conversation with our keynote speaker, and we will have a moderator who will handle this portion. Our moderator for this evening is distinguished Toastmaster Hubert Edwards, member of Club 1600 and past president of Ernest T. Strawn Advanced Club. He has served as Area 92 director, taking the area to distinguished, and competed at various levels of Toastmasters International Speech Contests. Hubert Edwards is the managing consultant of Next Level Solution, a regular contributor to newspapers and
I think we've lost Shakira.
I think so, but that's sufficient. I am Hubert Edwards. She has said a lot about me. Some of those I didn't readily recognize, but it's certainly a pleasure to be here. And it's a pleasure to have this opportunity to moderate the session and to speak with our keynote speaker, Deepak Menon. Deepak Menon, distinguished Toastmaster, past international president. Welcome. I am here in the Bahamas, so I have to say welcome to the Bahamas, but I know I have to do justice to say welcome to the Bahamas and South Florida. I want to get into the speech right away, and I want to start from the place where you kept repeating. Toastmaster is an ocean of possibility, an ocean where there are so many pearls which can be discovered, but so many, regardless of where you are, which are yet to be discovered. Talk to us about that. Kind of pull that out, because I think it's such a it's such an elegant way of capturing what Toastmasters is about.
Thank you. So Hubert, what do you want to know about that ocean of pearls? Because I couldn't hear what you were saying.
I'm saying that you use the metaphor of an ocean of possibility, an ocean of pearls, an ocean of, regardless of where you are in your journey, there is still more gems to be uncovered. I want you to just take that and kind of expound on that just a little bit more for us. Why do you use this metaphor?
Sure, thank you very much. Why I use this metaphor is that when you get into Toastmasters, you really go in, most of you would have joined Toastmasters because you wanted to develop your confidence, because you wanted to become better at being able to speak before an audience. You wanted to feel less nervous while you were speaking, while you were communicating, or because somebody had pushed you into a Toastmasters meeting and told you that you need to improve your presentation skills, you need to improve your communication skills, so go to Toastmasters. And that was the reason that you came into Toastmasters. But when I came into Toastmasters and I started going below the surface, so to say, scratching beyond what was obvious, that's when I started uncovering all these different competencies that I could possibly embrace and take back with me. And all of these competencies, all of these skills were not so apparent in Toastmasters. You don't find this written about. You don't find that you have somebody telling you about these skills. You experience them. And when you experience them, it's up to you to make use of them. What I find is that everything that we learn in Toastmasters can be applied practically beyond Toastmasters. So you do apply it within Toastmasters too, but you also apply it outside Toastmasters. So I find that there is this wealth lying within Toastmasters, and it truly is an ocean that you can dive deep into and start picking up those pearls and those treasures which are undiscovered by you. Others have discovered it. You haven't discovered it yet.
And so there is a unyielding or unending possibility of treasure that no matter how much others have picked up before you, there's still yours waiting for you. This ties, I think, really nicely into this idea of transformation, because at every single level that an individual transform as a Toastmaster, there are new possibilities of pearls and gems to be uncovered. Make that connection for us.
Whether we are new members or we are more experienced members, every opportunity gives us some learning. Every experience gives us some learning. Some of you have traveled beyond the club, have become area directors, division directors, district directors, and have even gone beyond and become region advisors, international directors, and perhaps have come onto the international officer position. I know that Matt, Distinguished Toastmaster Matt Kinsey, is a member of your district. He is soon going to be the international president. I am aware that amongst you is past international director Christina Kilberg, a very, very dear friend. So you've all experienced Toastmasters in different ways, in every role. And every role that we take up, there is something more to discover. Even when I was international president in 2019, 2020, I was still learning. I was still growing. I was still experiencing so much that I'd never experienced before. Of course, that was the year of the pandemic. And in the year of the pandemic, or the start of the pandemic, a lot of us learned things that we had never learned before and things that we never wanted to learn at all, but we were forced to.
Yeah.
So Hubert, we continuously have that experience, whether we are new Toastmasters or experienced Toastmasters.
Yes. You talk about this idea that there is so much wealth. There is so much wealth to be gained from Toastmaster, and the wealth is not in money, but it is value that goes into, I think you use the word, your soul. And then you talk about the possibility, what it is that you can ultimately become. Isn't it important for us as Toastmasters to focus on the becoming, not where we are at the moment, but the possibility of becoming? So it's not about the position, but who we are evolving into, who we are transforming, the person that we are becoming.
That's an excellent point that you raised, Hubert. Yes, the goal is important. The objective is important. When we join Toastmasters, we have an objective, why we joined. If we don't, then we need to consider what is the purpose we want to achieve through our membership at Toastmasters. And very likely, you are going to achieve that purpose very quickly. And as you go along, you'll find that your purpose of continuing to be a Toastmaster will keep changing, will keep evolving. Because as you're discovering new things, as you're discovering new possibilities, you want to now get to that level. You want to do that. When you join Toastmasters, you don't know about the speech contests. You don't know that there is a possibility of becoming the world champion of public speaking. You spend a few months in Toastmasters, and that's what you want to be. You want to be the next world champion. And therefore, your goal, your objective changes. While it's important to keep focused on that goal that you might have, it's also important to enjoy the journey. Because if you do not enjoy the journey every step of the way, and you're too focused on that ultimate goal, you're going to miss out on so many experiences. So every single day in Toastmasters provides us that experience. So the journey is as important as getting to the destination. In fact, perhaps the journey is even more important. For instance, in our paths, we have elective projects. And people choose only those, the minimum numbers that they need to go through, but don't realize that every single project in that level will add value. So why not test every single project? Why not perform from every single, speak from every single project, and not just choose the minimum? Because it's the journey that makes you who you are and helps you get to be the best you possibly can.
Definitely. And so as we move on this journey can only be taken one day at a time. And as you indicated, every single day is a learning experience. And when you become a Toastmaster, you start to appreciate the interaction. Yes, we have some things to do, but there's an interaction between you and the human element of Toastmasters. And part of your job is to elevate, to lift persons up. And as you say, a Toastmaster, you said a distinguished Toastmaster, but generally speaking, a Toastmaster needs to be humble, to be supportive, and to be helpful. As you shared the story about the evaluation of the young lady, in that instance, how do we use ourselves? How do we use the experience? How do we use our own transformation to elevate and uplift others?
Thank you. I talked about having emotional intelligence, being able to understand the emotions, the feelings, the sentiments of everybody around you. And especially when you're a leader. As a leader, you do need to know about the team that is working with you, to be able to understand them, to be able to feel who they are truly. And one of the lessons I learned in Toastmasters was to shed my ego. That ego does not come into place at all, into play at all, when you are serving as a leader or at any point in time when you're in Toastmasters. Ego, in fact, builds walls, and we need to destroy those walls. When we have that ego, we feel that it's our way or the highway. But the fact is that everybody offers something which is valuable, some contribution that is valuable. When we were on the board of directors, as part of the board of directors, when we used to have our discussions and we would be 20 people around the table, the boardroom, everybody contributing, everybody having something to say about the decisions that we were making. And if anybody had a feeling of ego, we would have stopped listening. So it's important to shed that ego, whatever position you might be. Remember that in Toastmasters, we have responsibility. We are accountable as leaders, but we have no authority. Whether you're the president of the club or the district director or the international president, I had no authority. Yes, you as a collective had authority, but not individuals. We as individuals have no authority. So let's keep grounded and remember that it's only through this support that we can offer. We can all grow together. So let's be agreeable and ensure that we build each other.
Yeah. Feedback matters. Feedback matters. But feedback has the power to break. In this whole process of helping others to transform, are we not too transforming as human beings, transforming as leaders, transforming as individuals in understanding, as you mentioned, through emotional intelligence, how we interact and how we use the power of our words to elevate or to destroy? Talk to us about that.
That's very true. The power of words is enormous because with those words, we can change the lives, the course of lives of people, and especially our members in Toastmasters. There are times when you have guests in the room and sometimes the evaluator has been just too strict and too critical about a particular speech. And that itself puts off those guests and they'll never want to come back to Toastmasters again. There are times when a member tells me, Deepak, I already know what I'm good at. Just give me some very critical feedback. Just tell me what is it that I need to do to improve. Skip the part about the areas that I'm good at, that I'm doing well. But I never do it. I never do it, especially when I'm providing oral feedback in front of the club members, when I'm presenting my evaluation. Because everybody wants to feel good about themselves, and especially publicly. So when you appreciate publicly, they feel good about themselves and they want to come back. And that's the reason why we use this sandwich format of evaluation in Toastmasters. Commend, recommend, and commend. And I urge you all to use that everywhere, whether in Toastmasters or outside Toastmasters, because I've seen the power of appreciating and then slipping in the nuggets that can help people improve, and then giving a little more encouraging word. That really, truly moves people forward. And I discovered that that's possible. It can change lives. So we need to be very careful how we select our words. I do a workshop, it's titled The World's Worst Evaluators. And in that, I talk about the attributes of the world's worst evaluators. I pick up 5 of the world's worst evaluators and talk about what you should not be doing as an evaluator. And not about, so it's about negative reinforcement, or what you should never do, what you should completely avoid when you're an evaluator.
You sought to convey this idea that it's impossible to fail in Toastmasters. It's absolutely impossible. Now, some persons may disagree because we put so much value on the outcome. But from your perspective, you say, well, you can't fail, you should experiment. And in the process, because you have this appreciation and awareness that this is a space for experiment, you should readily say yes to opportunities. How important is embracing opportunities for growth? How important is that to the individual who may feel, well, this feels like work and I don't want to fail, I don't want a disappointment. How important it is to say yes when you're called upon?
Thank you very much, Hubert. That's a question that is often posed. Why should I take up a leadership role? There's too much work involved. I see my district director, I see the program quality director, the club growth director, the division director. They're always working. They're always got their nose to the grindstone. And from the morning to night, they're busy doing work. But my friends, the fact is that leadership in Toastmasters teaches us so many skills that you can't learn in a school, college, or university. The skills that you gain in that year as a leader, you can't gain anywhere else, not even in an MBA program. You join a business school, they will teach you the theory of leadership, of management, but you want to learn it on the job, Toastmasters is the place. So here, again, it's a safe place. You might fail, but yet you will be appreciated. You do that in your company where you're working as an executive, you fail, you're going to be out of the job the next day. But in Toastmasters, that doesn't happen. You get appreciated. And then you learn from that failure and you move on. It's important to understand what we can do when we fail. Because when we fail, that experience of failing itself paves our way to success. When I was division governor that year, our district was not distinguished. That was the first year of the district, District 82. And in that year, the Distinguished District Program used to be based on scores. So the district that's had the highest score, the top 6 districts were President's Distinguished, the next 6 would be select, and then those who made the minimum criteria were distinguished. And if you looked at the scores at the end of the year, in 2007, June 2007, we were number 7 in the world, number 8 in the world. We would have been select distinguished, but we were not distinguished. And that was because we did not meet the minimum criteria, which was that we needed to have certain number of advanced communicators in the district. We missed that mark by 4 advanced communicators. That's it. We needed 43, we got 39, and we missed it by 4. We were not distinguished. And it was such a failure it felt to all of us. And the next year, I was the club growth director of the district, along with the team, the program quality director and the district director. I remember, sat together early in the year, looked back in the past year, saw the cause of that failure, and decided that, this would never happen again. We had to have a clear vision as to where we wanted to get to. We had to have a plan to ensure that we converted that vision. And we started working on it from day one. And the end of the year, we were number 1 in the world. We were President's Distinguished, number 1 in the world. And it was not just a hit and miss. We were number 1 in the world for 4 consecutive years. 2007-8, 2008-9, 2009-10, 2010-11. And then 2011-12, we could have been number 1, except that the district no longer was there. We were divided into 2 districts because we had grown so much. And those districts were number 1 and 2. So the legacy that we were able to develop because of failure carried on and continues to carry on even till today, 20 years later.
It's really such a powerful thing, understanding one, yes, when you fail, it can be painful, but as you indicate, you use this term, paves the way to success. And the way to success obviously has to be lined with perseverance. You shared a story about how you got into the club and someone had to, essentially kept pushing you, inviting you. But is it not true that success after you are in the club, whether you're going to become international president or you're going to top out at just being a regular member that achieves certain educational goal, isn't it the fact that perseverance must be a critical tool in your toolbox?
You couldn't be more right. Yes, indeed, perseverance to be able to follow our dream is so important. So I talked about setting our objective, our goal as to what we want to do. And we can only achieve it if we persevere. And we have to have patience. Some people think, well, Toastmasters is like a magic wand, you wave it and suddenly there's transformation. No, my friends, it requires hard work. You have to do the speeches, you have to prepare for the roles. And it's not just about doing speeches, it's participating in every aspect of the club meeting. Because everything that we do builds you to who you can become, to who you do become. So that club meeting is where everything happens. A successful Toastmaster is one who's been able to involve themselves in every aspect of the club. And when they do that, the gains that they receive are tremendous. And that's when they can truly transform. And that's when they can truly become successful. So all the learnings happen in the club. And then you merely start applying most of those learnings as you go beyond the club.
And that is so important for individuals to understand where they are. You shared with us your almost near-death experience moving from your seat to the podium when you were invited to give that table topic speech. Your heart was fluttering, you thought you were in love all over again. But isn't it interesting that in that moment, even though you felt this trepidation, what really happened was that you were experiencing a moment of humbling, because your mindset at the time was, I can do this. I'm great at this. But the experience of actually stepping forward was humbling, wasn't it?
Absolutely. You couldn't be more right. I didn't realize it at that point in time that this is going to be a humbling moment for me. I had a very strong ego about myself. I thought very highly of myself. And coming down to earth was painful. But to realize that this was a problem was also something that I guess not all of us experience, that we are willing to embrace. So the willingness to fail, to fall, and then to rise is so important.
Yeah. You touch on this word. I like the way, as an international president, obviously I am a Toastmaster, and you have reached, whether you want to describe it like that or not, you have reached the highest echelon that I could aspire to be. But you said I have to shed my ego, because ego in a leader create walls. Talk to us about, how you, as an individual who has achieved much, first in a professional, from a professional perspective, but then also within the Toastmaster, how do you manage this concept, this construct called ego, which is maybe always pulling you to be something which most persons may not necessarily like, but which you recognize it's important to set aside in order for your leadership to be effective?
Let me tell you that as individuals, we all have ego. Let's recognize it. We all have a self-perception, something that we feel about ourselves, that we know about ourselves, and that's fine. Why should not you feel good about yourself? Of course, we also tend to be our own worst critics. Every time we do a speech or we do a role, we are the ones criticizing ourselves. Perhaps we don't receive that criticism from anybody else. We know we have been terrible at what we've done. But at the same time, we have a perception, a self-perception. And at times that causes problems. And the problem is that we stop listening. We believe that we know best. And then that is what causes problems. And that's the root cause of conflicts, when we stop listening to each other, where everybody says, well, I know the best, and I know this is the way to go. And then somebody in authority or so-called authority feels, well, that's the only way that it's got to be done, and there's no other way it can be done. So when we stop listening, that's the time when that ego that we have becomes so strong that it destroys everything. So don't let go of your ego completely, but remember to practice active listening, be supportive, help each other, and be willing to listen to each other. And when there is conflict, when somebody disagrees with you, try to get to the root cause of the disagreement. Why is that other person disagreeing with you? And you might discover that perhaps there is a better way than your way.
Yeah, and I think that is so important. You have to humble yourself to the fact, you have to step back from you and be in the awareness that, like you said, there might just be a better way. We have a couple of questions in the chat, and my able co-conspirator this afternoon, this evening, is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Juliana Clark. Take it away, Juliana.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Edwards. We just have two wonderful questions in the chat for you, distinguished Toastmaster Menon. The first one comes from Toastmaster Betsy Robinson. Do you think evaluation time should be adjusted for longer speeches, those 10 minutes plus?
Thank you very much, Betsy, for that question. So the Toastmasters recommendation is that we provide feedback, the oral feedback, in the 2 to 3 minute time frame in our regular club meetings. And I believe that that is valuable, because if you can't provide feedback in 2 to 3 minutes, you can't say something good about one or two good things about the speech and give a couple of recommendations about how to implement those recommendations, and you're not really a good speaker because you're not able to put together your thoughts in the most economical fashion. But at the same time, yes, of course, you would have uncovered so much more that you want to convey to the speaker. And yes, you can provide all that feedback after the club meeting to the speaker one-on-one. You have all the time in the world. I've spent sometimes 30 minutes speaking with that speaker, talking to them about the good things that they did and about those areas of improvement, having detailed discussion about how they can implement those recommendations. So take all the time that you want, but do it on that one-on-one platform. Because the club meeting is already packed with so much, and we have a limited time available for all that we want to do within the club meeting. Sometimes the club meeting is only 60 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes. Even if it's 90 minutes, you have to ensure that we were disciplined enough to finish within that time that's permitted. But at the same time, we have in advanced clubs a longer evaluation segment where members do receive longer feedback, where more than one member provides feedback. So I've seen multiple methodologies utilized where you have a lead evaluator providing the 2 to 3 minutes of feedback, then you have a round robin feedback from all the members in the club, and then you give the opportunity to the member to respond to the feedback as well. So that works out to sometimes as long as 10 minutes. And that's very detailed feedback. But not all speakers can really face such feedback. Less experienced Toastmasters might feel intimidated by such feedback. So it should be only practiced with more experienced Toastmasters who are willing to experience that 10-minute feedback.
Thank you so much for that answer. And we have a very interesting question coming in from Paul Stevenson, and I'm also interested in this answer because you have such a heavy resume. What is next? What is the next move for you?
Thank you. I have finally been able to get back to my profession, which is accountancy. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. And I'm being able to spend a little more time with my family, my wife. And of course, they don't let past international presidents go scot-free. There are always assignments that are given to past international presidents, and they're always kept occupied. So I have multiple assignments at this time. And one of the assignments was coming and speaking here in District 47. And my job is not done. I've got one more keynote to deliver. So indeed, I have been thoroughly occupied all this year so far as a past international president. And I'm a lifetime Toastmaster. I go to my club meetings every week and I enjoy those meetings. And I'm now providing mentoring to some of my club members. And I'm enjoying that experience as well. So while a past international president might be a plain ordinary Toastmaster, yet there is still so much that I believe I can do for this organization.
And that is so powerful. Thank you so much to distinguished Toastmaster Juliana. I have a question here for you, Deepak, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak. I have absolutely no idea what to do. I have absolutely no experience, but it is possible for me to be successful if I have mentors. You gave us this wonderful story of when you got elevated to this position and pretty much nobody knew what to do. I want you to talk to us as to why no idea what to do or no experience isn't an impediment to success.
Thank you. That's indeed a wonderful question. So I did tell you that it's so important to ask. So important to ask for help. Because if we don't ask for help, we're not going to get it. No one is going to be able to give you any help if you don't ask for it. Nobody will think or will imagine that you need help. So remember to ask for help. Sometimes mentors are assigned, sometimes they are not assigned. And you still want to reach out because you see something in them that you know you need. And so you can go to them and ask them. And I've generally received a yes. what I find is that when mentors come to your life, and honestly, I believe that when the student is ready, the master will appear. That's happened to me on multiple occasions. When I needed it most, I had a mentor who would help me, guide me, lead me to where I wanted to get to. Whether it was as division governor, whether I was doing a speech and I needed some assistance, whether I was running for the position of the international director, or even for the position of second vice president. I had mentors come my way who taught me, who cajoled me, who kept pushing me every time I felt a little depressed or a little dejected. They were the ones who helped me rise again, lift my spirit up, encouraged me, supported me in multifarious ways. So I believe that having a mentor is invaluable. And mentors who have done it all before you, who know the experience and have the knowledge. So go to them, find them, and you can change your life.
I think we have another question from Juliana. Juliana?
Yes, thank you. I'll just try to get this in very quickly. Distinguished Toastmaster Andrew Byrne asks, is every keynote that you do a unique speech, or is it, just a repetition?
Thank you for that question. So every keynote is a little different. I don't write a script. I have the points that I want to talk about, and it's got to do with what is expected of me at that particular meeting, at that particular event. So I have a chat with the organizers. I ask them, what do they want to hear about? What is it that they want me to talk about? And so I get the tips from them. Some of the stories that I talk about during my keynote are repeated in other keynotes as well. Some are completely different from what I've done in the past. So it's generally tailored to the needs of the audience and to the needs of the organizers. That's how I approach my keynotes.
Okay. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Juliana. And we are running clean out of time. We could do this for a long time. I think I've found a kindred spirit, and I know why, because you're a chartered accountant, I'm a chartered accountant. We're on both sides keeping the T account balanced. I just want to say it was certainly a pleasure to have had this session. I am going to brag here a little bit. This is my third either past president or president-elect interview. And so I'm in the business of collecting interview. Persons who organize conference, please remember that. I need to put more notches on my gun. Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak, international past president, you are an accountant, so you know balance. You're also from India, where ancient knowledge originates. You also happen to be Deepak, and that means something in this world of mind thinking. So what I want you to do as we end this session is talk to us about the importance and the value of awareness in all we do within Toastmasters.
I've had some table topic questions in the past, but none as difficult as the questions that Hubert has been posing me all morning today. And perhaps this is the toughest question of all time. Awareness. How to build awareness. So one very important thing that I've learned, and which I truly believe in, is to be in the moment, to shed all distractions and just be in the moment. Enjoy what you're experiencing at that time. Whether it's in Toastmasters or outside Toastmasters, doesn't matter. Just being completely aware of what's happening around you, learning from what's going on around you. Many times, Toastmaster members, especially the ones who've been recent joinees, come to me and say, we don't know what to talk about. We don't have any subject matter to talk about. And I tell them, think about what has happened to you in the last 1 month, perhaps the last 1 week. Consider all the experiences that you've had. Why don't you do a speech about it? And then they say, well, I don't remember what happened to me. And I said, well, that's a good idea. From today, start keeping a journal about what you're experiencing every single day. Be aware of what happens around you. Because when you're aware of what happens around you, you start receiving material, so much of material that you can continue to use in your speeches. Because every single story can come with a message, and that message is important. So awareness is so important. Awareness of who you are, what's happening around you is extremely important. But that can only happen if you are in the moment.
And I think that is such a wonderful, wonderful place to leave it. As a Toastmaster, in the Toastmaster program, we have to ensure that we remain consistently every single day. We learn something new. We say yes to opportunities, but we remain in the moment. Thank you so much, past president, international past president, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. It was a pleasure having this conversation with you, and we look forward to hearing from you some more. We look forward to interacting with you, and certainly we look forward to visiting you one of these days in New Delhi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're all welcome to come to New Delhi. Happy to host you.
Madam District Director.
Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Hubert and Distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. Thank you. Let us show some hearts and applause. Thank you so much for being here. You have set us up nicely for our first night in the transformation process. It is appreciated. I will now yield the lectern to the Social Butterfly team.
Good evening, District 47. It is now time for the social butterflies to unfurl and transport you to nights of fun, and we want you to have fun. This is the first purely social, did I say social? Activity of the conference. We are the social butterflies, and it is our charge to entertain and to make sure that you have pure fun each evening of this conference. My name is Distinguished Toastmaster Andrea Robinson. I serve as the Division A Director, and I also am a social butterfly. Tonight, we are in the field of dreams. I want to introduce to you the host of this activity, Getting to Know the Quad. So you listen carefully and pay close attention. It will be fun. You're gonna learn a lot. Our host tonight is Distinguished Toastmaster Jamaro Thompson. He joined the New Providence branch of Toastmasters Club 3596 in 1997 to improve his extemporaneous speaking skills, if you can believe that. Since then, he has held every office in Toastmaster. He is a super Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. One of the highlights of his journey with Toastmasters is serving as an area governor and the division governor for the Bahamas division of Toastmasters. He is one of a small number of Toastmasters who have achieved the feat of #1 area governor and #2 division governor of District 47 in 2005 and 2007, respectively. Professionally, he is in the hospitality industry, where he has served for nearly 20 years. He is currently an assistant director of learning and development and outreach for Baha Mar Resorts. I'm gonna talk with you so I can get a hookup. Just saying. Where he gets to live out his passion. He loves Toastmasters and is excited about continual growth. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Distinguished Toastmaster Jamaro Thompson. Take it away.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and welcome to our Field of Dreams events. So tonight we'll be interviewing our district leaders, also known as the Quad. We will ask questions in 3 rounds. And after each round, we get to have some fun with it as we play a game of Kahoot, where you, the audience, get to participate and see how well you have gotten to know the quad. So I hope you're ready for this. And so let's just talk a little bit about the rules for Kahoot. Are we gonna put that up? So just pay attention. That's the key thing. Pay attention and try to get to answer the question as quickly as possible. When it's time for the game, we are going to post it, and you're going to either join it by one or two ways, by logging into Kahoot, or you will get to scan in a barcode that will take you right to the game. When you do that, you will see a question. I'll read it off for you, and you will have a few seconds to answer it. However, the quicker you answer it, the more points you get to build up. And then at the very end of it all, we have some wonderful prizes for you. And so pay attention, it's going to be lots of fun. We'll announce the top 5 winners and the prizes. So are you ready for our first round of questioning? Yeah, so let's get to know the quad. And so our first round of questioning involves the quad's lives as Toastmasters. So first, let us welcome Madam District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Shakira Taylor. Yay. Distinguished Toastmaster Shakira Taylor, I know you're ready for this.
I am ready, ready, ready.
So tell us, what year did you join Toastmasters?
2010.
2010. And why did you join Toastmasters?
As our keynote speaker said, keep learning. I am into self-development, and 2010 was the year, the next phase for me to sign up for something, and I signed up for Toastmasters.
Beautiful. Are you involved or are you enrolled in pathways? And if so, which pathway are you enrolled in?
I am currently enrolled in 3 paths: team collaboration, motivating strategies, and dynamic leadership.
And here's a question I know a lot of people want to know, because you are the district director. What is your district role and what is that all about?
I am serving as a district director, and I am responsible for the day-to-day operation of the district, which includes the human resources and the finances.
Why did you seek this particular office?
Again, it was self-development. It was what was next for me, just saying yes to my learning, and district director was the next opportunity for me.
All right, so I know a lot of Toastmasters, they wear so many hats. Are you currently serving in a club role in addition to being our district director?
No, not with my full-time job as district director. So no, I am not serving as a club officer, but I am serving as a mentor for a new club in the district.
Absolutely beautiful, and we can't have enough of those. And here's a big challenge now for a Toastmaster. In 1 minute, describe your Toastmasters journey.
Oh yes, I can do that in 1 minute. Again, it was about self-development. So in January, a New Year's resolution, I decided I am going to step into Toastmasters. So I walked into the club and I sat in the back of the club. Maybe about 3 months, 4 months later, I was the secretary, and I just kept climbing, and here I am today as the district director.
That's how it seems to start for quite a bit of us. So
Absolutely.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Shakira. It was a pleasure getting to know a little bit about you there. And now we are going to invite our program quality director, distinguished Toastmaster, and I'm aiming to get this right. Austin Conica.
Pretty close tomorrow.
Okay.
Canonica, like harmonica.
Canonica. Okay, got it. All right. So tell us, Toastmaster Austin, which year did you join Toastmasters?
I joined Toastmasters International in 2015.
Okay, great. Are you currently enrolled in pathways? And if so, what is your current path and any previous paths you may have completed?
Absolutely. I am a pathways enthusiast. I signed up right when we were able to do so. I've so far completed dynamic leadership and team collaboration, and I'm working through persuasive influence now.
All right. So tell us, what is your current district role and what is the focus of it? What does that job entail?
As my amazing virtual background indicates, I'm the program quality director, specifically in charge of education and training. If you think about the club officers, you could think of me as like the vice president of education of the district.
Absolutely beautiful. And this is the next big one. You seem to be one of those with your hand in like many different hats, right? So in addition to your club, your district role, are you serving in any club roles?
Yes, I am the treasurer of the Toastmasters Club at FAU.
And now the big challenge, ready for it? In 1 minute, describe your Toastmasters journey for us.
I'd be happy to. I literally took out a flyer on Toastmasters, an article entitled Why Your Boss Wants You to Join Toastmasters. I checked out my local club and immediately fell in love with all the fun that they were having. As soon as I joined, I recognized there was an opportunity to step into leadership. And as I did that, my peers continued telling me, you're doing a great job. We believe in you, even when I may not have even believed in myself. And I just kept heeding the call to action and taking opportunities to continue serving. And here I am. I like to think I joined for me, but I stay for everybody else.
I love it. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Austin, our program quality director. Let's give him some love, everybody. Yeah. All right. And next member of the quad we will have with us is our club growth director, distinguished Toastmaster Lois Margolin. And so welcome.
Thank you.
When did you join Toastmasters?
I joined in 2012.
All right. And why did you join Toastmasters?
I was elected to a district office at the American Businesswomen's Association and realized, oh my gosh, I need to give speeches, and I wasn't very good at that. So hence Toastmasters.
A lot of times you see Toastmasters and you hear these stories and you won't believe it, right? Like, who believes that Lois joined just because she couldn't give speeches? No one does, right? Are you currently enrolled in Pathways? And if so, what is your current path and previous paths you've completed?
Okay, yes, I am currently enrolled. I have motivational strategies, engaging humor, persuasive influence, and previous paths include dynamic leadership, team collaboration, and there's one other I can't remember, but yeah.
Love that engaging humor. What is your current district role? And tell us a little bit about what you do in that role.
I am the club growth director, and my role is to help build new clubs and help all clubs in achieving excellence, keeping the membership payments going and hoping not to lose any members.
Wonderful. Now, are you currently serving in any Toastmasters club roles?
I
And if so,
am
what are they?
indeed. I am the treasurer in one, vice president of membership, and a president. I am in 4 clubs right now, soon to be down to 3.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
In 1 minute, please describe your Toastmasters journey.
In 1 minute, it's explosive. I joined in January, and by June, I was already the secretary, and I have what many of us have, an affliction called the helium arm, where every time they say, can you, I need someone, the arm just goes up, and I just kept raising that arm and joining different ranks at Toastmasters.
And we thank you for it. So everyone, let's thank our club growth director, distinguished Toastmaster Lois. Good getting to know you so far. And we'll move on to the 4th member of the quad, Toastmaster Rodney Bain, our public relations manager. Are you there, Toastmaster Bain?
All is well, Jamaro. How are you? All is well.
Wonderful, thanks. There you are. I can see you now. Great. So tell us, when did you join Toastmasters?
I joined Toastmasters back in August 2014.
Great. And why did you join?
I joined it because I realized I was not good at this part of it. I was in charge of an organization where I had to give a lot of presentations, and listening back, I needed some help. So I saw Toastmasters where leaders were made. I want to be a better leader, better speaker, so join Toastmasters.
Thank you. What path are you currently working on?
Currently, I am on presentation mastery, and I just completed leadership development. So Pathways is awesome. If you haven't signed up for Pathways, you're missing out.
I need to do it now. So tell us your current district role and a bit about what that entails.
Sure. So currently I am blessed to be the public relations manager of District 47. And in short, I am the storyteller of the district. I get to tell all the fun things and the great things that the members of District 47 is doing. So whether it's through social media, through graphics, through videos, through text, email, blasts, whatever I do, I'm responsible for all that armament.
Sounds like a fun job. And in addition to And in addition to that, are you currently serving in any club roles?
I am. I try to run from it, but as you know, Jamar, it's hard to run from those things. So I'm currently the VPPR of the Providence branch of Toastmasters Club 3596. And I've had the awesome opportunity to be a sponsor / mentor for Claro, which is a new club. So I'm really excited for being a part of that club. So yes, I'm actively involved.
And everybody knows I'm a little biased here because that is my home club, the club I joined way back in 1997. So 1 minute now, 1 minute, describe your Toastmasters journey.
Sure, even in the word growth has definitely been my Toastmasters journey, from not being confident enough to step up to being able just to speak on the drop of a dime. So definitely growth, overcoming insecurities, fears, and just learning, being able to work alongside with also people like Shakira, Lewis, and Austin has really encompassed my journey thus far. I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
Thank you to our public relations manager. Thank you, Toastmaster Rodney Bain. So we are now very much excited to engage you, and we are going to put up the instructions for Kahoot, give you some time to sign up on it because we want as many people participating. And there it is. So on your mobile, or if you have another device, open your web browser and type in kahoot.it. All right. You can enter the game pin on your device, or you see the QR code there in the corner. All right. Yeah, you can either scan that QR code and you can see the PIN number, which is 426-7982. All right. Enter your full name. That will help us to be able to identify the winners. And you're going to view the main screen for questions and your answer choices. Corresponds with the answer choice from the main screen. So we'll all get to see it at the very same time. And you see in the corner there, the colors there, and the color corresponds to the answer. So pay quite a bit of attention there to the color. Okay, so we see some people in the room. You still have the opportunity to scan and get involved in the game. I'll do it with you. All right, got about 29 people in. That number's growing. Got about 36 people in. Come on, we can get this number up. There are about 125 of us all together here. At 38. Okay, up to 39. It's going to give it a couple more seconds so that we can start. And I think we're about ready to go. Anyone's excited? And I guess you want to know what some of our prizes are, huh? So I'm going to give you a little hint. It's one of those things that I love because it's one of my favorite sites and I always have something in the basket. And this will help you to get whatever you have in that basket into your home or into your phone or into your device. All right. And so there's a note. If you were prompted to pay, then you don't have to pay. That's not a required step. All right, we got some 48 people. Anyone else in there joining? Right. So remember, even though you get the question right, you're going to see probably different scores. There's some other things attached to the scoring. And one of those things is you have to make certain that you get in your answer as quickly as possible in order to get the highest possible score. Now, have no fear if initially you're not the leader out the gate, because that tends to change every single question. And we have 3 rounds of this, and I want to say we have about 15 questions for you. So are we ready to roll with it? About 52. Not a decent number. So let's get going. And our first question is number 21. What does Toastmasters stand for? And you see to the bottom all of those answers. You get a chance to pick your answer. And you have to be quick. You have about 5 more seconds. Who you think is leading? Who's going to start it off for us? So 33 of us got it right. There were about 8 of us getting it wrong. Shame on those of you. I won't call any names. So let's see how our leader is after this first question. Is it Susan? I don't see a score attached there.
This was a sample question just to make sure everyone knew how to do it.
Great.
No score involved, but hopefully
Beautiful.
everyone got a chance.
So maybe we have another shot? Is that it? Okay.
But now we're starting round 1, official
Yay.
scoring. Back
So
to
you have to be
Distinguished
quick if you want to score high. Okay, so let's go with the next question. The first question, actually. So here's round 1 of our Field of Dream Toastmasters Journey questions. And say, which quad member is enrolled in pathways, team collaboration, motivating strategies, and dynamic leadership? And you got about 20 seconds to answer it. Remember, the quicker you get it in, the better. Who do you think it is? You remember, we got about 3 seconds left. And let's see how many of us got it right. So 22 people got it right. Paying close attention, the answer is Toastmaster, Distinguished Toastmaster Shakira Taylor. And let's see who our leaders are. And there we go. We start with Roach with 940 points. Right behind is Benita with 923. And whoever Kahoot Baby is, you're there as well too. Althea and Kay Penniman round out our top 5 for the first question. Let's move on to our next one. Question number 2. Which quad member started Toastmasters in 2015? Is it Distinguished Toastmaster Shakira Taylor? Or is it Austin? Boys. Or Toastmaster Bain? Who is it? Time's up there. So we got 25 people getting it right. And it is our program quality director, Distinguished Toastmaster Austin. Now let's see who our leader is. Has it shifted? It has a little. So Bailey is now on top with 1,825 points. So Toasty right behind, just 1 point. Elizabeth G, then Catherine M, and Ivy to Love. One of the top 5. And so let's move on to our next question in this particular round. Which quad member currently serves as a treasurer, vice president membership, and president while holding district office? Now this one has to be easy. So everybody remembers this one. And I got a hint for you. It's a member of the quad. Got about 5 more seconds left. All right, 35 people getting it right. 11 people not so right. And let's see who our leaders are. Is it still Bailey? Yeah, Bailey remains up top there with 2,744 and Elizabeth G following closely behind. And the top 5 remain virtually unchanged. But something can happen, and I believe it will with question number 3. Let's see it.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Okay.
Which quad member is responsible to tell the story of District 47? All right, and I have another hint for you. I'm full of hints tonight. It is another member of the quad. I hope you're liking my hints. Okay, time's up. All righty. About the same, 30 people getting it right. Okay. So let's see who that is. Who's still the leader? Okay, shifting just a slight. And so Bailey's still on top with 3,570 and Mo coming up closer. Remember, speed is the object of the game, right? You have to make sure not only just get it right, but you have to be quick to the draw. All right, do we have another question? Are we ready? All right, so which squad member joined Toastmasters to help improve communication skills? All right, and I got a hint for you. It's one of the above. Just pick one. Take a wild guess. Time's up. And guess what the answer is? It's all of the above. Every single last one. So whoever you pick, that was the answer. So everybody got this one right. Let's see if that leadership round changes. And Mo is on top with 4,531, followed by Elizabeth G. Grady Toast, you got in there. So Toasty got in there. And Kahoot Baby remains in our top 5. And so they round out our top 5 leaders for the first round of questions. And we're going to move into round 2 of questioning for our squad. So you're still excited about this talk? What? And we are going to learn just a little bit about, because we think that Toastmasters is a full-time job. I have news for you. It is, but we got other full-time jobs as well. And so we're going to dive a little deep into the professional lives of our members of the squad. And we're going to start off with our district director, distinguished Toastmaster Shakira. Yay! Right. So tell us, what is your occupation outside of Toastmasters? And that's a strange question. So what's your paying job?
Perfectly said. My paying job, and in true Jamaican style, let me tell you my paying job. I function as a business manager, and I deal with the HR and the finances for a middle school that's K through 8. I also get paid as a speaker, a trainer, mentor, and a coach.
Beautiful. And what is your dream job?
My dream lifestyle is simply to get up and manifest money doing exactly what I do now.
I feel it. All righty. And now thinking back, right? Like, what was your first job?
True Jamaican style. I had 2 jobs the exact same time. My first 2 jobs, Macy's and Express.
Okay, where was this?
In 1997, when I moved to the US in Miami.
Mm-hmm. All right. And if you could learn a new skill, what would it be?
So in another world, it would be remote viewing. But in this world, it's pottery.
Beautiful. And what kind of pieces would you create?
Functional pieces. I only do functional pieces, things that you can actually use these days.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Shakira. That's round 2 for you. And let's move on to our club growth director, distinguished Toastmaster Lois. All right. So what is your occupation outside of Toastmasters?
I am a fractional CFO.
And you're going to tell us just a little bit about what that is?
Sure. That means that I'm a chief financial officer for multiple companies. I have my own company, and that's what we do is we allow business owners to do what they do best, which is make money. We do all the stuff behind the scenes.
I love it. And what was your first job?
My very first job was, many of you won't remember this company, but I was the helping hands of Scotty's. Scotty's was a lumber company, and my job was to help people figure out how to make things. Not one of my finer moments.
All righty. And if you could learn a new skill, what would it be?
I would love to be able to sing without making people's ears bleed.
What are we all right? Thank you to our club growth director, distinguished Toastmaster Lois. So good getting to know you. And we're going to move on to our program quality director, distinguished Toastmaster Austin.
How you doing, Jamaro? Good to be back.
I'm great. So tell us, what is your occupation outside of Toastmasters?
Professionally, I have two jobs. My full-time job is the Assistant Director of Marketing and Communications within the Graduate College at Florida Atlantic University. And I'm also an adjunct professor of undergraduate marketing, and I've taught at Florida Atlantic University and Nova Southeastern University, and that's part-time.
Wonderful. So you're always talking.
Basically.
Yeah. What is your dream job?
Well, if I was still dreaming, it would be to be a baseball player, but I think I've passed my prime. My realistic dream is to continue on my academic journey and become a full-time tenured faculty member professor.
It's never too late. Never too late. Tell us, what was your first job?
Well, sticking with the baseball theme, since I was legally allowed to work in the United States, I became a youth baseball umpire, crew chief. So I was calling balls and strikes and ejecting parents for being really mean.
Fun times. So the last question in this round for you, if you could learn a new skill, what would it be?
I wish I could have linguistic abilities to learn as many languages as I possibly could. Unfortunately, I only speak English.
And you do it rather well. Thank you so much. All right. And next up, we have our public relations manager. Welcome back, Toastmaster Rodney. And what was your, and I know this question seems strange, right? Because I have to say outside of Toastmasters because it is a full-time job. But what is your occupation outside of Toastmasters?
So I do have several. One of the things I do, I am in insurance regulation. So that means I'm part of an entity that oversees all the insurance companies here in the Bahamas to make sure they are complying with the law. My second job is I have a business with my wife. It's called Service Culture Firm, where we are offering management solutions from web design to hiring to training. Anything you need help, we got you.
And what is your dream job?
My dream job is if I can wake up every day and remind people who they are, I would definitely do that. My dog seems to want to be involved in every aspect.
He's a Toastmaster. What was your first job?
Interestingly enough, my first job out of college was teacher. I taught 10th grade. I tutored primary school. I tutor colleges kids. So teacher was my first job.
Beautiful. And if you could learn a new skill, what would it be?
My new skill I would love to learn is technical skills, digital skills, IT skills.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Great. Thank you so much for sharing, Toastmaster Bain. And thank you to the court for sharing your professional lives. I don't know how you make time for so many jobs, all of you, as well as Toastmasters. And I think we are ready for round 2 of Kahoot. So everybody's familiar with the game. Just remember, you got to be quick on the draw. And so, are we going to throw up the screen? There we go. And so we remember who our leaders are. And so Mo has it with 4,531 and not too far behind, but the gap is widening just a bit, is Elizabeth G, then Gritty Toast, So Toasty, and Kahoot Baby. They round out the top 5 for our first round. And so let's see what happens within our second round if that shifts. And so we're ready for that first question there, professional journey. So the first question in this round is, what is District Director DTM Shakira Taylor's dream job? Is it fairy godmother, mentor, librarian, or help others transform? What do you think it is? Come on, you got this one. You got it. Right? Time's up. What did you guess? So 17 of you said help others. 13 say mentor. All right, and so the answer's there, right, transform and mentor. So you are right. And let's see who leads. Mo remains in the leadership role with 5,387, and Kahoot Baby climbed up quite a bit there, nipping her. All right, so next question. Where was Club Growth Director DTM Lois Margolin's first job? Was it Home Depot, Lowe's, Scotty's, or Macy's? You have to remember this one. Did you get your answer in? You only have 5 seconds left to select that answer. And time's up. Right, so 25 got Scotty's and everybody else got it wrong. So Scotty's is the answer. And let's see who leads. Mo still remains up top. Next question. What skill would program quality director DTM Austin like to learn? So is it salsa dancing? Does he want to be the cat whisperer? Or maybe it's singing or linguistics? What do you remember? I think I got that. Is somebody trying to help us out there in the chat? So 30 of you got it right. Linguistics is it. Mommy says he only speaks one language and he does that pretty well. Not the salsa dancing, maybe the cat whisperer, who knows? And Mo is remaining right up there and Kahoot Baby is just hanging on. Let's see if this shifts. So we have a few more questions in this one. All right, so what is Toastmaster Rodney's occupation outside of Toastmasters? And they had so many. Is it pastor, coach, insurance regulation? What do you think it is? Maybe it's superhero. Probably wears a cape and a mask. Someone says superhero for sure. And if you got regulation insurance, you are correct. And let's go to see if the leaderboard has shifted. And no, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. But Ebony Thomas made it into the top 5. Right, so Mo it is. And our final question in this particular round. Do we have one more? Is that okay? So that is it. And we got one more, right? So let's do this one more. So which quad member has more than one paying job and more than one volunteer job? And as usual, I have a hint for you. And you'd want to pay attention to this one. It is one of the 4 members of the quad. My hints are good. If you appreciate them, show some love. And the answer, listen, all. All. I hope it helps. That was my answer. So let's see if the leaderboard shifted there. No, Toastmaster Mo still there with Kahoot Baby there. Bailey in 3, Gritty Toast in 4th, and Ebony Thomas, welcome to the top 5. And that ends of round 2 of questions for Kahoot. We got one more round of this, and so hopefully, if you want to get in there, you're able to. And so let's go to round 3. All right, so welcome back to our quad. And we got to know a little bit about your professional life, your Toastmasters life, and now we want to know a little bit about your personal life. And we're going to start with our club growth director, distinguished Toastmaster Lois. Is you there? There you are.
Okay.
Right. So tell us about your birth and childhood.
Okay, well, I was born in New Jersey, exit 14 in Short Hills, and I have a brother and a sister and 2 amazing parents. So it was wonderful. I had a great childhood.
Great. And have you ever been told that you look like someone famous? I'm sure.
No, I
has.
can say I am truly unique. I have not been told that.
No doppelganger there, nothing. No. Okay. All right. So maybe we'll come up with somebody for you before the end of the night. So if you think you know who Toastmaster Lois looks like, please put it in the chat for us. All right.
Okay.
All right. So tell us about your home and family life.
So I am married to an amazing man, have 2 grown-up daughters who are married, 3 grandchildren, and it's always an adventure in my house. I have a 3-year-old dog who thinks she's 2 months old, and it's a fairy tale. I'm super happy. And just so you know, husband and I were high school sweethearts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. True romance story there. And the final question in this particular round is, what stage of the butterfly cycle are you currently in?
I think I'm still in the cocoon. I'm still learning and growing and trying to fight my way out of that as I gather my wings. And I'm just constantly a work in process. So I think a cocoon, going to chrysalis is really where I am.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been so much fun.
Thank you. You are excellent at this, by the way.
Thank you. And next we have our district director. Madam District Director, are you ready?
Ready, ready, ready.
Let's go then. Tell us about your birth and your childhood.
Birth and childhood, born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. Yeah, man, that's where I'm from. You know, been here since 1997. So sometimes people think, well, I've lost it, but I haven't. It's still right there. Let's see, third of 4 girls. My grandmother has 9 children. And the 9 adults lived in the house and their children lived in the house. So it was rambunctious, it was loud, it was fun. And I danced up until 6th or 7th grade. I did dancing. So lots of fun and just real island life, climb tree and all those wonderful things. Yeah.
Close family has to be.
Yes.
Now, has anyone ever told you you look like someone famous?
So in my party days, still do partying, but in my party days, I wore a lot of Janet Jackson braids, right? So I would do the big one, the small one. I didn't really like the fine one, just the big, chunky, nice ones. And so it would be Janet Jackson. After that, it was Sanaa Lathan.
Okay, all right. I see that. I see that. Tell us about your current home and family life.
Currently, I am married to a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man we're going to be celebrating 10 years on July 4th. And it's still as though it was day one. We have a fantastic life. My husband has 5 girls and 9 grandchildren, but they all live their own lives. So we get to have a fantastic life all by ourselves, doing exactly what we love to do. And it's great. It's really great.
Yeah, and happy pre-anniversary.
Listen, celebrating every day. That's what I do.
It was wonderful times 3. I count it. Wonderful times 3. All right. Tell us, what stage of the butterfly cycle are you in?
Oh, what stage of the butterfly cycle? It depends on the day. Okay, so I am pretty much into self-development. I am pretty fulfilled in my life. It depends on the day. Some day I am, just searching, seeking, getting my answers. The next day I'm in the cocoon, really marinating on what I'm learning. The next day I'm soaring and I'm supporting others in transformation and I'm transforming myself. So hit me up in the morning and I'll tell you, where I'm at. The complete cycle.
Thank you, Madam District Director. So much pleasure getting to know you.
Thank you.
Next, we have our Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Austin. So, Distinguished Toastmaster Austin, tell us about your birth and your childhood.
I was born in Port Jefferson Station, which is on Long Island in the state of New York. And I moved to Southeast Florida when I was about 5 years old. For all intents and purposes, I consider myself a Floridian, though if you look at my passport, it will say that I was born in New York. Really enjoyed my childhood, played a lot of team sports, have great friends that I keep in contact with today, and a big love for all of my family.
Beautiful. Now this question, I know you have a yes for this one. Have you ever been told you look like someone famous, and who?
Yeah, so I do switch up my appearance, growing out my hair and facial hair, but in general, I've been told that I kind of resemble Tom Cruise, and I'll take it because I've heard from some women and men that he looks good, so I'll take it.
Toastmasters, tell us what you think in the comments. All right, tell us about your current home and family life.
I currently rent a condominium in Coconut Creek in Florida. My marital status could be officially classified as 30, flirty, and thriving. I am single. And I have a cat who I adore. Her name is Gray, and she was my great companion through the pandemic. I'm what's referred to as a foster failure. I adopted her and kept her.
All right, all right. I don't know if you saw Toastmaster Vernon Bonamy's reaction when you said 30 and 30. Right? I'm in the 40s, so I don't know what to call me.
We can still put you in the 30 club.
All right. What stage of the butterfly cycle are you in?
I'm definitely still a caterpillar, but in the words of the caterpillar from the movie A Bug's Life, I hope to be a pretty little butterfly before you know it.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Austin. And indeed, it was a pleasure getting to know you as well. And let's welcome our final member of the quad, Toastmaster Rodney Bain, our public relations manager. Oh, naughty 40. It's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it.
What'd you say,
Someone said
Jabbar?
John Wick.
Oh.
Someone saw John Wick there for you, distinguished Toastmaster Austin. I like the John Wick one. All right, Toastmaster Rodney Bain, welcome back. Are you ready?
I am excited. I'm ready.
Beautiful. So tell us about your birthplace and your childhood.
Awesome. So I was born in lovely island of the Providence, Bahamas. Pretty Queen Island is the capital of the Bahamas. Growing up of mother and father, middle child, had a speech impediment. That's my story. I had a speech impediment. Still do actually. Went to speech therapy in grade 3 and still find different ways to overcome it. So my dad's from Eleuthera, which is another island. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. Have you ever been told that you look like someone famous, and who? I could think of
Yeah,
somebody.
so growing up, like Austin, I have multiple persons, but I do not look like Tom Cruise. So I was told young I look like Mike Tyson or Ice Cube, depending on the look. I was told also I sound like Barry White. A good friend of mine's grandmother is Barry White. I cannot sing like Barry White. I'll let you
I
know.
was about to ask if it was the singing voice or the speaking voice.
I recently heard Gerald Levert, which I cannot sing like Gerald Levert either. So yes.
All right. So tell us a bit about your current home and family life.
Sure, man. So I have a beautiful wife, Nadia. We have 2 beautiful children, Raina and Rawson. As you heard all day, we have a lovely dog, Sushi Roll. So we are currently doing well. So that's pretty much what it is. Beautiful kids, beautiful family, having some fun. My son's trying to be in the camera now too. Everybody's just trying to be in the camera. I don't know. They feel the energy, I guess. I don't know what happened. Excuse me.
And I know those folk. I know that family of yours. Tell them hi for me. All right. And what stage of the butterfly cycle are you currently in?
So I like this thing now. I'm definitely in the caterpillar stage, but man, of all the pressures that's been happening, even preparing for this conference, it feels like the chrysalis phase. It feels like things just closing in right now, but definitely I'm on the caterpillar stage for now. I think at the end of this conference, I'll need to retreat into my chrysalis and do some healing.
So a conference will do it for you. Like, I'm happy I don't have the, stress of you guys, because I just show up. I just show up. You have to make sure everything is in order. So hats off to you. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Bain. Pleasure getting to know you. And thank you to all of the quad. It's a pleasure getting to know you. And I think we're ready for round 3. Let's see who wins these prizes. I don't know about you, but if your name is up there, I feel something moving from your basket. I'm going to sound like a Baptist preacher now, but just watch your term. Something moving from your basket into your house or into your pockets. All right, so get ready for that move. And so we still have Mo. All right, so that's this reminder of our leaderboard. We got Mo at 8,893 points. So if you're not from the Bahamas and not familiar with John Canoe, you don't know how to call the points like this. Then you have Kahoot Baby in second place with 8,789 points. And in third, 8,343, we got Bailey. Gritty Toast in fourth with 8,254 points. And rounding out our top 5 is Ebony Thomas with 7,764 points. So let's see if this leaderboard switches any. And we are ready for round 3 questions, personal journeys. And let's see the first question in this round. So the first question in this particular round is, which quad member is married, has 2 grown-up daughters, and has 3 grandchildren? And if you want my hint, I'll give it to you. It's one of those 4. I have been so helpful all through this process that whoever wins needs to share this prize with me. So let's see. You got 2 seconds left. Punch it in now. Thank you. I've not done wrong once. And there it is, Toastmaster Lois Margolin, right again for me. All right, so let's see if our leaderboard switches up a bit. No, same top 5 there, but it's very close in between Mo and Kahoot Baby. Let's move on to our next question. Come on. Which quad member was born in Jamaica and then came to the United States in 1997, right after high school? I'm not going to give you a hint for this one. I've been too generous, given out too many hints all night long. You have to figure this one out yourself. I can't help myself. It's one of the four. Just too helpful. So the majority of you got it right. And let's see if that leaderboard, yeah. I have to put my foot down. I can't give you too many hints. I'm going to try to control myself. So Gritty Toast, you move up. Ebony Thomas, you moved up. Bailey, you moved down. But Kahoot and Kahoot Baby, you are neck and neck. All right, Mo and Kahoot Baby. And remember, you got to be quick on the draw. So let's see our next question. Which squad member has Tom Cruise as a lookalike? This one, I remain quiet. I will yield not to the temptation. You have 5 seconds left. I'm keeping my word. I'm not helping you. And it's Toastmaster Austin. 34 of you got it right. Let's see how our leaderboard looks. Mo is still at the top there. Kahoot Baby, you went back up. All right. So let's see. Neck and neck. Which squad member lives in the Bahamas? Oh my God, this one's an easy one. This one is an easy one. And I can't help myself. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not anyone who is not on this list. It's not anyone who's not on this list. And time's up. And two of you, Toastmaster Shakira. It is Toastmaster Rodney Bain. Does the leaderboard change? No, it doesn't. But still close enough. Somebody has to. If you want to take over, you have to be quicker on the draw than Mo. Our next question. Our final question. You have an opportunity to take this. And this one for double points. What stage of the butterfly cycle was most selected by the quad? What stage of the butterfly cycle was most quad? And because this is the last one, I feel that I must help you. It is one of them with the in front of it. And it is the caterpillar. So let's see now, right? Who is on the podium? So in third place, receiving a $20 Amazon gift card is Gritty Toast. Yay! In second place, receiving a $25 Amazon gift card is Mo. Whoa, Mo! And our winner is a Kahoot Baby in first place with a $30 Amazon gift card. Let's give them some love. Yay. And let's put back up our fourth and fifth place, right? They deserve some mentioning. They too will receive a $15 and a $10 Amazon gift card respectively. So thank you all for playing in this field of dreams. Thanks Quad for being up to this challenge, got to know them quite a bit. I want to thank all of the audience members, all of the participants, everybody who did something to make this possible tonight. Thank you, our event chairs and tech team. Fellow Toastmasters, they put in some work to provide this program for you. So let's show them some love. Let's see the reaction buttons with the applause, everyone, because they did a tremendous job. At our keynote presentation, just want to thank everybody who did something tonight. And there is more to come. I'm excited to see the contest. I love contests. So put in the chat, what is your favorite thing that you want to see? Like, I love the table topics because for me, it's just one of the most difficult things to do. I absolutely love it. But I also like the humor because that's one of those things I struggle with, I think. Like I can be funny, but I don't know about a speech, right? So yeah, what is your favorite thing that you want to see? Or somebody's demanding a recount. Have you been to elections in the Bahamas? We've had recounts. Count it again. No, the count is final. I'm sorry. Right, and so just a reminder, Kahoot Baby won it, Mo in second, Bitty Toast was in third there, right? And our fourth and fifth place was Ebony Thomas in fourth, and So Toasty in fifth. So that's all for me tonight, folks. I don't know if a member of the quad wants to take over or our event chair with any further announcements. No, I'm district director, everyone.
I didn't want to leave you just standing there. I thought the conference chairs were going to step up. I mean,
so thank you and love you for that.
We're right here. We're right here.
There you go. There you go. Mr. Ernesto.
Thank you so much, wonderful people. Thank you so much, Madam District Director. And thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Jamaro Thompson as well. Thank you to the quad. Thank you to you wonderful people for participating. Just bear with my virtual background until it works with me. But thank you so much, everybody. To our top 5, congratulations. You get to spend some cash on Amazon and take this understanding, this night of learning as we walk into tomorrow. Do not forget, as distinguished Toastmaster Thompson noted, there are incredible things taking place, beginning with the workshops and continuing through the day with the table topic and evaluations competition, moving into keynote speeches. Of course, you will hear from the great distinguished Toastmaster Forrest Tuff, and we definitely want to see some of the talent in the night of the Swallowtail Open Mic event. And so stay tuned, be involved, see you tomorrow. Don't forget, and stay growing, butterflies. We're going through this process together. To our top 5, if you desire, feel free to drop your emails into the chat so the chat monitor can be able to reach you concordantly and help you gain your prizes. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Didi.
I thought that was it, but we were off. Maybe some music. Have a good night, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you. Plug in for the speeches. Hey, Barbara, I see you.
Oh, probably could open your mic.
I learned a lot about you tonight. I'm taking notes.
Janet Jackson, right? Janet Jackson.
What a fantastic job, the social butterflies. Wonderful,
great.
wonderful.
CPR
So much fun.
Paxton. So in the Bahamas, when you come, right, we call it the dirty 30. So we have to fix you up when you come. The dirty 30.
Ready. No, I'm not, but I'll be there.
Correct.
Rodney, can you stop the recording, or the tech person actually can stop the recording?